to the panelists. Thank you to the attendees. And up next is a big question. Who here is a big fan of football? If you raise your hands, loud cheer so we can all hear you.
Football fans.
All right, so this is going to be a great conversation because it's moving on to sports, but from a very different angle. So yes, we talk about the on-pitch, off-pitch action, but this is around the pitch as well. Those freestylers, those individuals that make the game happen. It's all about playing online as well through storytelling, creativity, and an online community.
Yes, Abdul Karim. Our next session looks at how creators turn the world's most universal sport into real careers, not just through skills, but through culture and connection. From freestyle football to viral challenges and cinematic content, these creators have built audiences that span continents and changed how football is experienced.
Oh yes, they'll certainly break down what it really takes to build a platform around the game and how football is evolving from just being more than just a sport. So please, put your hands together to welcome OussiFooty, Jhon Nellis, Tayo Jr. and Lisa Zimush, as well as Craig Goodwill, who will be moderating this session.
Hello, how are you? Hi.
Hey everybody, nice to see you.
Hello.
My name is Craig Goodwill. I do a lot of work with Nike and FIFA, and I'm super happy to be here. And I want to kind of, the power of football is an amazing thing. And I'm really inspired to have you guys here. And I'm just going to jump into some questions, and if everybody's okay to get going. Cool. All right. OussiFooty.
Oh, me
There
first,
we go.
straight off the bat. Okay, let's see.
What was the moment you realized football content could become a real career?
A real career. I think for me, it was since the beginning. I turned my passion for football because I've played football all my life. So for me, turning my passion into football was very natural. And the moment I saw that I was inspiring kids, I knew it was more than views. I knew it was a whole career because for me, the most important thing is if I pick up a ball and make a video and I see another kid doing what I do, is for me, that's really, really inspiring. And I think from there on I knew it was like a career.
Jhon.
Yes?
What sets you apart creatively, allowing for such accelerated growth? Like, you must be really are you seeing what's going out there? Is there trends, or are you just following your kind of own energy and own frequency on that?
I think in a weird way, we're almost, me and my team here are almost like anti-trend. We tend to create very original content. I used to be an air traffic controller before this, so I'm not good at football like the rest of the guys on the stage. I couldn't kick a ball, and if I don't kick a ball for the rest of my life, I can still make it as a football YouTuber because we make original content around football culture. And I think that uniqueness and just doing our own thing is what sort of allowed for the growth.
And you're on the way after here to connect with Will Smith, right?
Well, that's a secret, but yes, not anymore.
I apologize. You have to tell me it's a secret.
No, don't worry, it's all good.
Lisa, when did content become a serious extension of your football career? Because you were telling me your mom signed you up very young, right?
Yeah, so I grew up in Paris, and football has always been a way for me to express myself. I'm very French. I look always mad. I look always, not happy. But whenever there is a ball, this is my way to express myself. And I grew up, and my mom, she told me, okay, now I see you playing with the ball all the time in the neighborhood. Now it's time for you to play in a team. So she signed me up in the team of my town, and the owner of the team, he said, let's not pay right now for the license, because most of the girls that come here, they give up after one practice. My mom said, no, I'm paying right now. She's gonna stay, trust me. She loves football. And then, I grew up and I've learned about freestyle football, and I was doing freestyle football. I played in a team, I was at school, and when I started being on social media, this is when I realized, I was like, okay, there is people really interested in what I'm doing, in the skills. And I feel like there was a lack of women representation back then, and especially girls, because I started social media when I was 13. And so this is when I realized, I was like, okay, I can have an impact on people, and you can touch everyone with social media. You don't have, there's no boundaries. And so this is, yeah, when I realized that, okay, I could make a living out of it.
Now, being a female, obviously there's 4 guys up here and yourself.
Yep.
And so how, is that an added pressure for you? 13, social media, the only girl sometimes.
So I didn't realize that being a woman and a girl back then was something special. Because I grew up with guys around me that didn't care if I was a girl or not. I was just good at playing football. And when I grew up, I was like, okay, I feel like being a woman is different. I get people talking, they trash talk, they say, oh, you should not be here playing football. It was back in 2007, so it was way back. And yeah, no, I grew up, I think it made my character, my personality. I've always been the one fighting for women's rights, women's sports, women everything. So no, I'm okay with being surrounded by guys. I feel like I'm used to it, but I'm trying to have more girls around me too.
Cool. Tao, how do young people in Japan see football today, and how does culture shape the way you create?
Okay, so young people in Japan are very interested in European League, like Bundesliga, French League, Premier League. So because now a lot of Japanese people play Europe League, that's why everyone loves Europe League. And Japanese culture is famous worldwide, like food, like anime. So people also, so that's why I used this advantage of I'm Japanese, you know. This is, I use this one.
Cool. And did the World Cup must have had a big spark for people there in Japan and South Korea. What year was the World Cup? Yeah. Was that a big deal for someone like yourself and for the youth there as well?
What did you say? Yeah, it's like Mitoma, like Japan beat Germany and Spanish, right?
Right.
Yeah,
Big deal.
big deal, yeah.
Yeah. Jhon, what makes a football sequence generally watchable online?
I can only speak about the content I make. Whenever it comes to kicking balls, I'm not sure what makes those videos stand out really, but in terms of what we do, I think we try and make videos that spark genuine interest, ask questions that people want answers to, or maybe questions they never knew they wanted an answer to, like can I cook a steak in a football stadium? But excuse the pun, there's always stakes in our videos, there's always something at risk or some form of jeopardy to create a genuine question or spark in people's minds, a curiosity gap and something that'll keep them there to the end. So to make our content watchable, it's about, you know, creating a story and a narrative that can keep someone not on the edge of their seat, that's a bit dramatic, but watching right to the end of the video.
Do you find that the attention span has gone shorter even, or are you just doing what you do in terms of the time it takes to tell the story?
We'll always make a video as good as, or as long as it is good. We won't drag something out or make anything shorter. I think as short form creators, we're probably a lot to do with the problem with short attention spans these days. But for us, we'll only make any of our videos as long as they're good. We won't stuff bad stuff in there or boring stuff just to make it longer for, I don't know, on TikTok you get paid if it's over 1 minute, 1 second. If our video's 58 seconds of good stuff, we're not throwing 3 seconds of bad stuff in to make it monetizable. But that's just how we operate.
Cool. Oussi. How much planning versus improvisation goes into your videos?
I think it's a bit of both. Of course, there are some videos you can plan. For example, when you do a football series and you go out on a field and you make a video, that is more planned. But of course, there is stuff that happens, you know, at a stadium or whatever. I go watch a football game, and you know, you request cool access. You know, you cannot plan everything that happens. I feel like there is some moments you just gotta react to it. I feel like it's a bit of double. There is some planning to do, but there's also, I think, just live up the moment. I think that's what I do most of the time because I'm sometimes too passionate about the stuff I do because I really love football and as I said, I've played football all my life. But yeah, I think it's a bit of both. I would say 50-50.
And how did you know when something you had a talent for it? I'm always interested in the idea of talent versus passion, right?
Yes.
Because we all have passion for football.
True.
and then, but a lot of us don't have the talent. Like, when does that switch over, or when do you identify at that point?
Well, it's tough. But for me, I always, social media, I mean, everyone when they was a kid, I always wanted to be a YouTuber, and I was finding stuff in gaming, but I couldn't find consistency in it. But then at like 19 years old, I said, you know what, I've played football all my life, I'm good at it, why don't do anything, social media with football? And I think from there on, it kind of took off, and I kind of really loved it. For me, I wanted to be a professional footballer, but I didn't make it. But I think I live every kid's dream, becoming a footballer and, playing in stadiums. It's crazy to me that I can be so close, yet so far being a professional footballer. But that's what I love about it.
And now when you stand beside a professional footballer, do you feel that yourself? Do you feel that size and skill, or what do you...
I've come to realization a couple of years ago that being a professional footballer is a very difficult job. And that's why I love my job as a content creator, because we're free to do these things with footballer. We're here to make content with footballer, and every footballer is different than the other. But when you're standing next to like a Neymar or wherever it might be, it's like I'm there left with me and the ball. Like, I just fall back on all that passion I have for the ball. Like, you can prepare so many video ideas that you want to make with these people, but when you actually show them, everything vanishes. It's like it's between you and the person in front of you.
Cool. Lisa, how do you decide when to showcase pure skill versus creativity and performance? And we talked about this idea about, can you play a regular game of football, or are you just...
So freestyle and football is a complete different thing. I just want to make sure everyone knows that. Some freestylers cannot play in a pitch. I do it all, honestly. I can play 11 aside, 5 aside, 3v3, one-on-one. But one thing I know is I need to adapt myself every time I play. So if it's 11 aside, I won't play like a freestyler. I'm one touch, two touches, I give the ball, I pass the ball. 1v1 is different. I'm gonna try to show my skills, pure performance. So yeah, one thing is anyway, you need to be fit. So I need to be at the gym, I need to be able to repeat performances, and when you do a freestyle show, sometimes it's not the hardest skills that we're doing. We're mostly doing skills that are visual. Like I say, I love also the artistic part of freestyle, so we're doing a lot of visual, cool stuff that you think it's hard, but for us, it's maybe the easiest thing to do. But yeah, as a creator, we have to manage the fact that also we need to bring performance. So I need to stay fit. I need to be an athlete as well. So that's the thing for me, the balance between making good content, trying to showcase skills, and also trying to stay in shape and not get injured. Because with injury, well, no skills.
And how important is mindset for all that? Like, there's the physical aspects, but I would imagine there's a mindset aspect to it as well.
I'm very interested into like staying in shape, like eating healthy foods. I'm very into all those things because I know I started when I was 13, freestyle football, and now I'm 26. So my goal is to be able to keep on playing. And my body, if I eat junk food, if I don't sleep well, if I don't drink water, I'm gonna feel more and more that my body is going to be sore. I can get injured. So my mindset is to stay good, to play as long as I can.
Tao, you create from Japan, but reach a global audience.
Yeah.
How do you keep your cultural identity while speaking to fans around the world?
So I use advantage of I'm Japanese. So example, like I gave anime stuff to football player who loves anime. Like before I gave to Frimpong, Konate, like Pogba, Aubameyang. They love it, because they love the anime. So I use always this advantage, and I'm filming with supporters from a lot of countries, like chanting, dancing, and this content, they love it. Because I'm Japanese, and but filming with another country people. That's why they love it.
Let's get into the business of this all. So, Jhon, how do you choose brands without losing audience trust? This authenticity, how do you weave it in? How do you work that? And what was your first kind of brand deal, and how did that come about?
I don't even know what my first brand deal was. Does anyone? Do you remember? No? Huh? Lenovo. Lenovo was the first brand deal. I played FIFA FC in like a stunt aeroplane. It was really cool. But I think for us now, I think whenever you're a bit of a smaller creator, you don't really have the luxury of picking and choosing. And sometimes maybe you have to accept a brand that doesn't quite fit your content and shoehorn it in because you need to get paid. But I think as you get bigger, you have the luxury of choice and you can say no and you can be a bit more demanding in pushing back to brands. You know, the way I look at brand deals at times is if I do a poor brand deal with a brand that doesn't fit to try and take some money, take a bag, ultimately other brand deals, other brands are going to look at that brand deal as the example of what I can do with branded content. So I'm not going to make poor branded content. I don't want to just take a bag and put out some really bad content that's going to underperform below my average, and then the next brand comes and looks and goes, well, I'm not going to pay you as much because look what you did with such and such. So for us, we're very protective over a brand that buys into the creative, doesn't have too much red tape, lets us have creative control, and also just fits, you know, into terms of my audience and in terms of like, we've worked with like maybe skincare products in the past. In hindsight, it mightn't have been the best fit. I'm not exactly a skincare guy, but yeah, I think just as you get a bit bigger, you can pick and choose a bit more, which is great, and just sort of pick brands that are sort of true to you and you can easily integrate and still go viral with. Because that's best for everyone. That's what a brand wants.
But sometimes that bag is a big bag.
Sometimes the bag's a big bag, yeah.
And it's hard to say no.
And if you have one, reach out, please. But yeah, sometimes the bag's a big bag. But ultimately, if it doesn't fit, you know, it could cost you in the long run.
Totally. Oussi, how has your online presence turned into offline opportunities? And are you ever creating to create more offline opportunities, or are you just staying authentic to what you want to do and the opportunities come?
For me, I would say because I make videos online, like in the beginning, I had a job, but of course, I wasn't getting paid yet because first you need to get yourself out there, you gotta get your name out there and for brands to start seeing you. And as Jhon said, like in the beginning, you don't have that luxury of picking which brand you want to work with because you don't have a portfolio, you don't have much. You show that you can do like before with brands. But I would say just, can you define offline presence, what you mean with that? Then I can answer it better maybe.
Do your opportunities always end up online, and are you ever producing to create more offline opportunities? That is a strange question because everything does end up online.
That's what I'm saying.
In many ways, right?
Like, I mean, I don't film.
Like, are you doing appearances? Are you doing things like that? But ultimately, everything's content, right?
Yeah, I mean, everything is like, you can make everything content, but not everything is content. I feel like that's the thing. But of course, there is some events that you get invited to that you can, of course, publish, not publish. But of course, we like to capture as much as we want for our audiences. But I feel like there is not too many offline opportunities, but I would say, like, for example, 1 Billion Summit, I come here, I make content, like, it's always something, like, and the reason why I'm sitting here is because, I mean, hopefully, I make great content, and, you know, we have an interesting story to tell, so it's offline, but we bring it online. That's kind of, because now it's not online. Like, my viewers, if I make a video out of it later on, I'll post it, they will see this, they come out here. It's something that happens offline, but we always post it online. So
right, if like a tree falls in a forest, does anybody really hear it unless you see it online, right? Lisa, what's being a female in this business? The red flags, you must have red flags pop up all the time, right? Because you're representing young girls. There's an impression. We were just having a talk about wellness and how important it is for women to look out to their audience and be somewhat protective of them. What are some of the red flags that you are always kind of wary of when a brand deal is coming along?
Honestly, I most of the time only take deals where I really feel comfortable. Yeah, the money needs to be, you know, important, but also it's really, I know my audience and I know who I am. If I sell something to people, it means that I trust. I trust this brand, and I think it's important to not sell everything and anything. If the product is bad, I'm not going to be here and say, hey, that's great, buy it. No, so this is one of the main thing I'm trying to be careful. And as a woman, I'm trying to build slowly, more and more, this woman fan base, because of course I have more men in my social media. Football brings, attract more men right now, but I feel like showing myself as a woman. I grew up, I was a girl on Instagram, for example, and now I'm becoming a woman. So just showing myself as a girl and a woman, I know girls watching me can relate, and women watching me can relate. So I think it's very important. And for brands, I just take what fits. If there's a skincare brand coming, if it fits my routine, if it fits my aesthetic, then I'll go and do a good commercial for them. But yeah, I just think as long as I stay myself, it's all good.
And is it hard to stay yourself sometimes? Like, or you've just taught yourself that that's the best place to be?
It can be hard. As women, I think we're always being judged. No matter what we're doing in life, we're being judged. It can be football, it can be cooking, it can be makeup. You're going to have people judging us, because that's sad. This society, it has always been like that. So sadly, I think I got used to it, but I don't think any woman should be used to it. And that's why, it's important to speak about people being, men being misogynistic and all those stuff. I grew up with the guy opinion on me all the time, saying, oh, I should not do this, I should not do that. On social media, there is still comments about me like, hey, go back to the kitchen, go make me a sandwich, go. It has always been like that. And, I just find myself and I try to reply to those comments in a fun way, in my way, but sadly I got used to it, but it's not a thing. Yep.
Jhon, what new formats or technology will shape football content next? What are you seeing in the future?
I think for me, when I look at football content, I don't know if it actually directly answers your question, but I think the red tape will come off a bit more with clubs and players. I think, you've already sort of thrown it out there today. There's a chance we're shooting with Will Smith. Like, for that just to come up, an opportunity like that on the hop with Mbappe doesn't really happen. There's so much red tape, so much approvals. You have to go through players, clubs, agents, brands. And I think more and more players are turning to YouTube and content. Like, look at Lamine Yamal, one of the biggest TikTokers in the world. Erling Haaland smashing YouTube at the minute. Ronaldo has YouTube. And I think players are realizing the opportunity that lies there. Clubs realize it too. Some clubs are phenomenal at working with creators, because we can amplify the reach and get the best out of their athletes, get the best out of the image rights that they own. So I think as time goes on, more clubs, more players will realize traditional media isn't really the only way, and lean into creators. They all want to be creators themselves. There's a new generation of footballers coming through who are in academies right now who are glued to their phones, who want to be footballers as much as they want to maybe be YouTubers or TikTokers or whatever. So I think as they become the new crop of world-class talent, it's only going to get easier for creators, and I think you'll see a lot more collaboration and a lot more creativity, because right now there's a lot of red tape that blocks creativity.
And everybody's a brand and everybody's a vertical, right? Everybody's trying to do the same thing at the end of the day. We're running out of time here. Football has always been about connection. We're seeing now that creators turning that connection to culture, opportunity, and real-world impact far beyond the pitch. I really want to thank everybody. We have 13 seconds if anybody has a question that can ask real quick. Otherwise, I want to thank you all for coming. Oh, and we're here. Awesome. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
It was a
Thank
pleasure.
you,
everybody, for coming.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Really love you.
Thank you so much.